Hello everybody, Michael here for Tactica Imperialis. Welcome to today's video. Today it's going to be a quick hobby update now that I am back at university. I'm in the last 8 weeks now. The date of your watching will be the 11th of April and my last exam is the 6th of June. So I basically have 2 months left of university, which is obscene how fast the time has gone. I mean, it doesn't feel like yesterday I was sat here recording my first ever video in this place. And I'm going to be moving out in 2 months and a bit. Man, I know. So today I want to bring you a hobby update for the new project that I have started for this little period. Now, as I said, I finished an elf adventure for now. I've left my elves at home. For ease of transport when it comes to moving back home in summer, I've left my elves at home. I'm not going to be playing Age of Sigmar at all. The only elves that are here with me are my Sisters of Avalon because I forgot them when I brought them home at Easter. I forgot to bring them home at Easter. So what I've got with me is my orcs, and they're going to be my main gaming army. So if you want some after-action reports, I will bring those to you, of course. But I have started a brand new army, and some of you might work out what it is. I'll give you 5 seconds just to think about it. Five seconds. Have you worked out what it is yet? Well, if you've been watching the channel recently, if you're watching this pretty much live, then you might have a clue. Some of you are going to hate me. I know I was surprised when I decided to do this. I bought Tau. Tau, for frick's sake. So yeah, I bought a Start Collecting Tau box. Why? Long story short, Farsight. Farsight is too damn cool. I could not deny myself the fact that he was too damn cool. And as I said in the 40k Stories videos that I did on him just a couple of days ago is the last one. If you want to go and check it out, it's in the 40k Stories playlist. You will know that I really fell in love with his story. I said I was going to buy him as a model and I probably was going to build an army around him. And well, I've done it. So I bought the Start Collecting box, which contains, if you didn't notice, an Ethereal on Hover Drone, 10 Fire Warriors, including a DS8 support turret, and a Crisis team with a bunch of drones. You get a total of 8 drones, 2 for each Crisis suit, and 2 for the Fire Warriors. So it's a really good value box. The reason for that is the Crisis suits as a box nowadays cost £45, which is a lot. But that box costs 50, so for £5, like a £5 note, I can get a full 10-man Fire Warrior squad, regular retail price £25, and a 10 quid Ethereal on Horror Drone for basically free, which is absolutely excellent value. So I've got that box now, and the immediate thing that you might be thinking to yourself is, well, Michael, you play Farsight, don't you? You fell in love with Farsight, so why do you have an Ethereal? I don't. I converted him. So I'm going to show you the models in a second. They are almost finished. I've got 2 done. My Fire Warrior Chasui and the converted Ethereal, who I've converted to a Cadra Fireblade. Just because, well, I'm not allowed to have Ethereal, am I? I'm playing Farsight. In terms of where the army's going to go, well, I've got to build all of this first. So I'm going to get the Fire Warriors done. I'm then going to do the Crisis suits, including converting one of them to be a commander. I already have a lore name behind who that's going to be, so I've already got a plan for that. And then after that, I'm probably going to get a second box, because basically what that will do is give me a really solid core. I can then sell the Ethereal, because we have another Tau player at home. Rowan has bought Kieran's Tau, and Kieran has bought his Tyranids off, and so they just swapped armies. So Kieran's now got Nids and Rowan's got Tau. I can give the Ethereal to Rowan and have 5 Crisis suits with a commander and 20 Fire Warriors as a real good core and a Fireblade. So that's the plot plan. So there you go. Let's take a look at the models. Behold, the beginnings of an army of Tau. So what we have here is the Fire Warrior Chasui and my Cadra Fireblade Ethereal conversion. I have put the light on my camera so they do show up a little better, but they are quite dark. And you've probably already noticed there's quite a bit of reflective shine on them. This is because I want the armor to be a reflective midnight blue. It kind of looks purpley on the camera as I see it, but it's meant to be, it's a midnight blue, and I've given it a coat of Ard Coat, or
gloss varnish, those who don't speak new Citadel paints, in order to make it shiny. It works all right on the guys, but I think its main purpose will be on battle suits. Particularly, I want to try it on the crisis suits. I think it'll really work on them. So let's start with the chassis to give you an idea of the paint scheme for the general army. So it's blue armor with the gloss varnish with green fatigues, and then red as the sept/spot color. So obviously got the blue armor. I've done Cantor blue with a McCragg blue highlight, and then done the varnish. And on the shoulder pad and in a couple of other places, you can see there's a little bit of ice blue as well. I think it's called Lothern blue these days. Probably need to get another pot of that at some point because I keep just using it. Just as a spot color, just for extra highlight. I've got it on the fin on his backpack, I've got it on his shoulder pad, I've got it in a couple of places. And then the fatigues are Caliban green with a Elysian green highlight, kind of like I would do on my orcs. Now the red is the Farsight Enclave's sept color, so that's why that exists. And I didn't really know what to do with it, so I've got it on the central part of the torso, of course. I've got a part on the shoulder pad, I've got it on the bonding knife, and I painted the rifle red as well. It doesn't really test the scheme that well on a normal fire warrior because that's next on the list, but it gives you an idea of how the sort of colour scheme is going to go. There's more red on this model than there will be on standard guys, so there won't be this red-orange section up on his helmet because this guy's a chassis. The leg components will probably be missing red, and the top section / this section of the shoulder pad will also have no red. Just because this is a chassis, not a chasselas. He's a sergeant, I wanted him to stand out a little more and be higher ranked, and he's got more sept colour. He's also got the bonding knife to help distinguish him. I have done a head swap on him. That is a breacher head. Again, just to make him stand out a little more compared to the regular fire warriors. Now the only thing on this guy that isn't finished is the feet, because for some reason the Tau don't wear foot armor or shoes of any type. So this down here is all the hooved feet. I've got the black for the sort of hooved toe bits, but the actual skin, I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. You can see it more prevalently on the Fireblade in a second. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that for colour. If anyone has a suggestion, let me know in the comments and I'll try and get that paint just as a base coat, because I don't really need it too much. I'm trying to avoid skin where I can. So it'll just be on the feet, and of course I've got the Fireblade who's got the bare head and one bare arm because it was an ethereal. So yeah, that's sort of the army colour scheme. It's okay. I mean, it works for what I want it to do. It's got the blue, the red, and the green as a real nice set of contrast colours. I just worry if the gloss effect is a little bit overkill on the Fire Warriors. It might only work on the battle suits. But for now, here is your HQ. He is a Cadre Fireblade, converted from an ethereal. So the ethereal was taken off the hover drone and placed onto a regular base, because of course he was. And I then did a arm and head swap, a backpack swap, and added a pulse rifle to the honor blade while taking the base of the honor blade off. So the head is just a fire warrior head. It's a bit more aged, a bit more wizened, kind of like a Fireblade would be. I should, in hindsight, have given him a shouting head rather than this half-open mouth, but that's my bad. The arm, he carries a set of prayer beads as an ethereal, so I swapped it for a Tau equivalent of an Auspex and gave him a breacher shoulder pad. Now the breachers have slimmer shoulder pads than Fire Warriors, so I put it on as a breacher pad just so that all the Fire Warriors were consistent. And this one has more red because as a Chasnel, which I think is the official term for a Fireblade, he is higher ranked again than the Chaswi, so he has more of the sept colour on his shoulder pad, but still has the blue as the base segment. I also gave him a Breacher backpack, again because I wanted all the Fire Warriors to have Fire Warrior backpacks. Added a pulse pistol in case something goes wrong, and then I converted the stave. So I've added a pulse rifle to it. The idea is that the Farsight Enclaves are a bit more skilled in melee. In fact, there is a Warlord trait for battle suits that can give them weapon skill 5. So the idea is that these guys can fight. So this is sort of a melee weapon / gun hybrid. So you can use it as a rifle by just using the lightness of the blade as a counterweight and everything like that. he'll know how it works, and then he can fight in melee with it while still shooting. So you can imagine he's doing a downswing, and then he just swivels the staff around and shoots someone behind him at point blank range, or something like that. Now, in hindsight, I probably should have put this the other way. So flip this through 180 degrees, kind of like that, so as the trigger was the other way, just because it makes more sense for his hand getting a grip on it. That was my bad. I stuffed up. But I'm pretty happy with it, and it makes it work that it is a fire blade. Now, you could probably use it as an ethereal if you really wanted to, but you can clearly tell that it's not an ethereal as well. So I painted him in the same color scheme, just with more red. So he's got the red on his chest plate, although the rest of his armor, like his back area, is all blue. The green of the fatigues, he doesn't have any because it's really an ethereal. He's got the robes. So I've done him with the dark green robes and then the Elysian green as the highlight, as the edge highlight. And then the red I've done on the lining of the cloak, the armor, the gun, his headpiece, or his head like receiver, and then of course on the shoulder pad. The honor blade I've done with a white handle with black trim, a yellow center orb instead of being like an orb of power, like a power weapon type thing for the honor blade. It's just there. Maybe it's got like an ammo store. And then it's silver blades with orange trim, just as a little reference to fire blade. So there you go. That is the models that I've done so far. Now, the lore behind this army is it's from the Farsight Enclaves, but Farsight Enclaves wear red, don't they? Yeah, they do. However, there are 4 worlds on the Enclaves. Violos for fire, Lovegrave for the earthcast, Tactica for the aircast, and Salas-Hay or Salas-Shay for the watercast. And it makes sense that each of those worlds has a garrison. And in my army, these are the garrison for Salas-Shay, the watercast world, hence why they wear blue. It works because I've got the red for the sets of the enclaves, I've got the blue for the water world. It just gives me something to paint that's not red because my orcs are red, my dark elves have red armor. I've got enough red in my army as it is without going another fully red armored army. So I went with the blue instead, plus it gave me something different to paint. And yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the bases yet. I'm really not sure. Like a snow base would be too bright. I think you can just draw your eye down to the base as opposed to the model because they're very dark. A cityscape base would possibly work, or I might just keep it quite plain. Do a sort of brown rim and then a green top base, sort of like a grass, like they're in the jungle or something like that. Just wash it down so it doesn't look too bright. Something like that might work, and that will be that. Now for my crisis team, I plan to convert Commander Brightsword. Now Brightsword is one of the 8, one of Farsight's sort of special guys from the final fight against the Tyranids on Violos. They have a formation now as well, which is awesome. And he, I think it's a he, wields 2 fusion blades. So I'm going to convert one of the crisis suits, or it's not even going to be a conversion, I'm just going to pose one of the crisis suits to have twin fusion blasters in sort of a swordsman stance with twin rapiers. So one forward, one back. It's hard for me to explain without actually having the model in front of me, but I've got the idea in my head. And then possibly use a couple of spare flying stands, because you can mount the crisis suits on flying stands if you want to, so they hover above their base, and almost attach those to the end of the fusion blaster, so it's like they're actually physical fusion blades as opposed to just fusion blasters. I'm not sure whether it will work, but I'm going to give it a try, and if not, then it's still in a cool pose nonetheless. The other 2 crisis suits I will leave customizable, so one of them will probably wield plasma plus missile, and the other will probably wield flamer and burst cannon. I'll work something out just so I have a mix of weapons in that squad, and of course Brightstorm has a set of equipment in the Enclave's book, but as a chasseur, not a chasseur or a chasseau, you are lacking 1 weapon slot and no signature slot, so she will have to obviously, or he will have to be used in a certain way when not Commander Brightstorm, and I use the Fireblade as HQ, or when I eventually get Farsight and add him to the army. So yeah, that's where we are at. So the plan going forward is to complete this box, maybe get a second box, so I have enough stuff, because it's just basically going to be 2 free Fire Warrior squads by getting these boxes. And I've got a free Fireblade out of it as well, and I can sell on an Ethereal. I might get the Infiltration Cadre Burning Dawn, which gives me Pathfinders, a Stealth Suit, team, a Piranha, and another Ethereal, which I could convert into Dark Strider. Using the Pathfinder components, I could make a Dark Strider if I wanted to. Although I'll probably buy him individually. I'll of course get Farsight, and I'll probably round out with a Riptide for Ovesa. So that will give me a big Crisis team, Farsight, between 2 and 4 Fire Warrior teams, a Fireblade, and a Riptide. I could then add some broadsides for Oblotai 9-0. It would also, if I get the infiltration card, I'd give it some Pathfinders, a Piranha, some stealth. I have a bunch of options if I do that. And at some point I will be doing a Tau Codex review, so we can look over what the Tau brings to the table these days in 7th edition, and then we'll get the Farsight Enclave supplement and review that as well. So that is all for today's video. I do hope you have enjoyed it. I do hope you don't hate me too much for getting a Tau army. Let me know what you think of the paint scheme in the comments below, and a suggestion on what sort of thing to do for Tau skin would be much appreciated. So thank you very much for watching. My name is Michael for Tactica Imperialis. Until the next time, I'll see you all again. Bye for now.